2 days ago, a major volcanic eruption occurred from Indonesia's Semeru Volcano, leading to this terrifying video. This footage was not filmed right next to the volcano summit, but a full 14.5 kilometers or 9 miles to its southeast. The Gladak Perak Bridge was hit by pyroclastic surges in this clip, leading to at least 3 burn injuries, but thankfully no fatalities. Yet, while the extent of damage or lack thereof to this bridge is still uncertain, what is certain is that severe damage occurred elsewhere, specifically upslope. Pyroclastic flows and surges slipped beyond the confines of the river channels, carrying with them large hot boulders of lava that were then deposited as much as 10 kilometers away in one spot. This is what I mean when I say that pyroclastic flows do not merely contain a superheated gas current. They are so much worse, sometimes also carrying with them up to hill-sized volcanic blocks and lava fragments. After these deposits coated the ground, lahars, which are mixtures of water and volcanic rock fragments sort of like a flash flood but more dangerous, swept down the same Besuk-Kobukan drainage that the main pyroclastic flow took. Due to the volume of recently emplaced pyroclastic flow material having somewhat changed the topography of that river channel, this lahar was able to overtop its sides in spots, damaging or destroying dozens of structures. In fact, after pouring through social media reports and first-hand accounts of Wednesday's eruption, I created this preliminary geolocation of the eruption's extent. Pyroclastic flows reached up to 17.4 kilometers or 10.8 miles southeast of Semeru's active crater, scorching an area of 16.74 square kilometers or 6.46 square miles. And in this area, up to 197 structures were damaged or destroyed by pyroclastic flows, pyroclastic surges, lahars, or a combination thereof. However, I want to stress that this is not the confirmed extent, and I want to add a huge asterisk to the damage and pyroclastic flow and surge extent I just mentioned. Specifically, what I mentioned is the very upper bound of what may have been reached, as I also labeled any area reached by lahars that overtop the river banks, and areas where ashfall specifically generated by the pyroclastic flows and surges that fell back to the ground outside of where the currents actually reached, as within the damage area. I did this because with faraway views it is difficult to differentiate between the three. Meaning damage is probably far less severe than I modeled. Regardless, at least 24 structures were confirmed as destroyed, but despite all of this, there were no fatalities. That can largely be owed to the fact that the eruption slowly escalated, giving everyone 2.5 hours worth of time to get out of there before the longest pyroclastic flow hit. But now, there's another problem, especially with a lahar and rainfall having occurred on top of the newly deposited pyroclastic flow deposits. There is a chance that at random, patches of these deposits could randomly explode, and these secondary explosions not only have already been observed, but have the potential to cause fatalities. That is why, in my opinion, under no circumstances should anyone explore or go onto or near a recently emplaced pyroclastic flow deposit. As for Semeru's summit, it appears that 95% of its lava dome exploded or was carried away by the November 19th eruption. I am also making a correction to a claim I made 2 days ago. This eruption was not primarily caused by a building mass of hot tephra that then collapsed. While that was a factor, it was instead triggered by heavy localized rainfall seeping into Semeru's unstable summit lava dome. So much rainfall occurred in a short time that within the dome, the water that fell was heated to high temperatures, flashed to steam, expanded in volume, and then exploded. Since the heaviest monthly rainfall occurs in this part of Indonesia between November and March, and the most likely time for a hypothetical collapse to occur is early on during the rainy season, it is not a surprise that Semeru has now produced a large eruption during the same time of the year during 3 of the last 5 years. 2021 and 2022 both saw a major eruption occur on December 4th, while this year's eruption occurred on November 19th. Due to the removal of most of the pre-existing lava dome, it now appears that Semeru is erupting continuously or near continuously, albeit at a much weaker rate. Stay tuned for more updates. As a final note, I would like to thank my new YouTube channel member Maggie H for supporting my work.